People stop texting me. It's a group message. People. No. Group messages are dumb. Don't add me to them. Stop. Okay, so as you know by the title of this video, I'm talking about why my glasses are indeed blue, because they are. It's kind of hard to tell. They are tinted blue. See? They are blue. And they are prescription, in case you can't tell. And they're not super blue, as you can tell. They are only a little. They are a 20% tint. So this summer, I got a pretty bad concussion. And so I have post-concussion syndrome really bad. But if this was my first concussion, then it would be fine. Like, I probably wouldn't be as messed up as I am. But this is my 4th concussion. And before you ask, I don't play rugby. I don't play any contact sports. I'm not that athletic. I just it doesn't make sense. All of these things just happened. So the one thing that I get asked a lot is what is post-concussion syndrome really? Besides why are my glasses blue? Because then I explain and then they're like, what? So post-concussion syndrome is when your brain is basically recovering from being injured. Holy cow. Why are glasses so lame? Why? Well, you can still see the glare. This is dumb. Bad. And I'm gonna take these off because the glare is ridiculous. Holy cow. Okay. Anyway, continue. With post-concussion syndrome, pathways have to form again. So, with one brain injury, it's like if you were to hurt your ankle, which I have. So it's I hurt my ankle the first time, it's fine, kind of a thing. But then you're more prone to hurt it again. So my first concussion was just a ball to the face. I was playing human foosball. So I got kicked in the face, but the ball head went back. It was fine. Just fine. My mom was like, okay, you have a concussion. You're acting kind of funny, but you're fine. And my head hurt, but I was fine. So the next day I go to school, everything's fine. But then the next one I had was a few years later, and I was snowboarding, and I just went ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum. That's the sound I made as well, in case you're wondering. And I had a helmet on. I was totally safe. I was part of a snowboarding program, and so I was required to wear a helmet. And also at this time, my brother, he had a very traumatic brain injury as well. So I would have worn a helmet anyway. So wore the helmet, but I rolled so many times that you can still get a concussion from a helmet. Helmets only can do so much. But so that one was bad because I was throwing up like crazy and it was not fun. And then about a year later, I was teaching swim lessons and I was on the side of the pool and I'm teaching the little kids and I was having this little girl jump to me and I hadn't told her to jump yet. I was still putting the other person back on the wall and then I was moving over and she just jumped and went boom right on my head. And her teeth were bleeding and she was a 40-pound kid, just boom on my head. And I'm standing in the water. It's not I would so I would have sunk if I wasn't standing, but I'm standing. So it was 40 pounds just smack on my head. And that one took me forever to recover from. That was I think it was 2.5 weeks until I started feeling normal. Then a year later, almost exactly, I was wakeboarding and I went, I'll just show you the video. Insert video. So that's what happened. And I was immediately out of it. So at the time I was wakeboarding, I was with my ex-boyfriend and I was with his family and it was the last run of the day. And I'm not super experienced at wakeboarding, so I was okay, one more time, let's go. So I just smack hit the water, and I remember I was like, oh crap. Like I knew immediately. Like every time I've had a concussion, I've pretty much known immediately, like I have a concussion, like I don't feel good. So I got on the boat and we go back to shore, and I'm just like, don't feel good. And we're sitting, like I'm just like, okay, like we were gonna go home anyways. I was like, take me home, like I don't feel good. And like the whole way home, I am like acting super weird. Like I started singing the ABCs, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, look, there's cows. And I was just like, oh my goodness. And he's like, eh. So anyway, I get home and I'm just like super out of it, super weird. And everyone's like, like my family's like, okay, we're taking you to the hospital. There's something wrong. So this happened in July. And it is now November, and I am still dealing with symptoms from this concussion. Hence the blue glasses that are not on my face, because it's fine. I wear them all the time, but I won't wear them for the videos for the sake of the glare, because I can't handle it. I've had to do physical therapy to regain my balance, to not feel motion sick. I've had to do physical therapy for my eyes. I still am doing physical therapies for my eyes, and I have to do that every week. I go into the doctor and I do all this weird stuff. Here it is. There's like this card, and I have to look at it, and I have to make each side shape of the card combine. And like I have these beads. Oh, that's dead. And I have them on a string, and I have to like focus on them, and like it's a process. And so I've been doing that ever since. Like I have handled, like we were on top of it because of my last concussion, and we were like, crap, like this is worse. This is like the worst concussion I've ever had. And there have been so many nights of me just feeling awful and hating everything, and it's not fun. Having a concussion is not fun, and then not recovering from said concussion also is not fun, in case anyone was wondering. But there's a lot of things I've learned from this experience. I've learned that blue glasses are like a thing that people do when they have post-concussion syndrome if they're feeling overwhelmed. Because what would happen is I would go around, like I'm going around living my life, I'm driving, I'm going to work, all of these things, but like I would just feel like overwhelmed. Like my brain is like, there's too many things for me to process because my brain pathways aren't connected again. And so the blue, for whatever reason, just like calms everything down, so it's not so overwhelming, which I don't understand. There's a lot of science behind it. I don't know a whole lot about it, but there's a lot of science behind it, so I am told. Post-concussion syndrome isn't fun, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody. And there's a lot of people out there who don't understand how big of a deal it is and how bad brain injuries are. And like, yeah, I didn't have a traumatic brain injury. Like my younger brother had a traumatic brain injury. He still has problems from that to this day, and he got it when he was like 8, and he's like 15 now. But like, mine definitely is not that bad. But still, like, I still have days where I'm like, I don't even feel like myself. Like, I feel like my brain's just kind of like, whoop, it's doing its own thing. And it's really difficult. It's really hard. So, like, if somebody has a concussion, like, if they've had more than one concussion, they're not acting like themselves, they're getting a lot of headaches, like, I would suggest just getting it checked out and listening to your doctor. I've had amazing doctors I've been working with this whole time. And it's awesome. Like, getting the care that you need for this is the one thing I would suggest to anybody. So yeah, anyway, that's the story of why I wear blue glasses, even though I'm not wearing them at the moment. But, right here, I wear them every day. And they are not for fun. I don't, like, wear blue glasses just because I want to. Because who would do that unless you're Tony Stark? Yeah, so if you ever see me walking around with blue glasses, if you see someone walking around with blue glasses, they might be wearing it for that reason as well. So, anyway, see you next time.